Alright, so welcome back to the channel. If you found this, I don't know how you found it because I don't really have that many subscribers, but I appreciate it. Today we have a video from Sneako. It's called My Experience in the Poorest Country in the World. And it has 77,731 views. Came out January 7th, 2021. Has 12K likes and 54 dislikes. And he has 852K subscribers currently. So I like to point out like all the numbers before I get into it. But with this one, I'm gonna just jump straight into it and then share my insight um where I can, you feel me?
Haiti. I was trying to
Not loud.
script this for a long time, but I don't think I can because I've been going to Haiti every year since I was a little kid. And by the way, I'm gonna do a little mukbang. I'm hungry, so I'm just gonna eat. I guess I gotta do a lot of explaining because obviously I'm not full Haitian. I'm half Filipino. My dad's from Haiti, but he's half white, half black. Most of my family lives there, so I've been going there every year since I was a little kid. I grew up around a lot of rich white people, a lot of wasps, you know, like squash, golf, yoga.
Yeah, I can see it. It's kind of obvious. But no, let me stop. I can see it. Honestly, can't say my experience is similar. I only really was around white, like mad white kids when I hit high school and college. High school like was like my first real experience around like white kids, and then college, there's a lot of them. You feel me? Especially the college I went to. So you run into a few of them. Some of them is just regular middle class. You feel me? The other ones are like pretty rich, and then it just goes up from there. You feel me? And college, you're definitely gonna run into rich people, whether it's black people. Like if you went to a Howard, that's an all black college, guarantee you run into some rich ass black people there. Um, yeah, college you gonna meet hella people. Some of them middle class, some of them is rich, some of them come into freshman year, BMW, Audi, you feel me, all that. So it is what it is.
Tennis. That's who I grew up around. So
That was the capital. Um, White people storming in, you feel me?
when I would spend time with my family in Haiti, that's a really eye-opening experience because that's literally the complete opposite. Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. It's crazy that that can exist so close to apparently the
Accurate. That's accurate. Poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, yeah. Um, and not even their fault, bro. It sucks. I've learned about Haiti's history from because my brother used to have a Haitian tutor, and so he told me a little bit about the history. And I'm pretty sure Sneako's gonna get into that though.
richest country in the world, but that's what it is. People from Haiti proudly say that they're Haitian and proudly claim that country, even though it's poor, even though the political situation is so bad that it's almost comical. I can't lie though, it's good to be back in New York.
If you didn't know what that was, stereotypical New York meal, breakfast, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese with, Arizona iced tea. That's what he was eating, that's what he was drinking. If you didn't peep, then I don't know. You're probably not from here. But yeah, Jamaica is kind of the same thing, and a lot of the other Caribbean, West Indian islands kind of deal with the same thing in terms of like, yeah, they just get their resources stolen and their governments are corrupt. So any aid or money that goes there, oh, that shit gets taken by corrupt ass government officials. Yeah, there's rich people and there's nice areas in Jamaica and both and probably in Haiti too. But like mm, that's not most people, you feel me? Most people is struggling and most of it is poverty. So you just gotta realize that. And then for Jamaica specifically, I know that Jamaica doesn't manufacture guns yet somehow there's gun violence in Jamaica. There's a lot of killings in Jamaica, yet they don't manufacture guns, so guns are getting shipped in somehow. And then the US gives them something called IMF loans, which are like predatory. It, it's almost like I don't know how to explain it. I've looked it up slightly, but like it's basically a loan that they'll never be able to ever pay off. And so pretty sure this probably happening to other countries too. So um yeah, basically they'll be stuck in debt forever. And that's just it. So they'll be stuck in poverty forever, owing another country money forever. So, we got to get rich off the backs of someone. So might as well be the poor, right?
Dès que nous-mêmes haïtiens, nous commençons à comprendre ça, nous supposé comprendre. Nous commençons à faire des recherches sur l'originalité. C'est deux grands différents entre Haïti et États-Unis.
That was deep, but you probably didn't peep. So if you didn't peep, go back and listen to that again.
Comme quoi?
Même les ça pas bon, il a fait il faut.
When I was a kid, nobody in my school even knew what Haiti was.
Yeah, that's the thing about our islands, especially even Jamaica too. Like that's one thing that they never give up. Like they always have faith, even in the deepest, darkest of poverties. They still keep their faith regardless of what goes on. They're always praying, like always hoping for better, always thinking that better is gonna come, and they work towards it. So that's one thing. Our people, Haitians, Jamaicans, all of the other West Indian islands, they they always try. Feel me?
To be like, oh, I'm going to Haiti for Christmas. Haiti? What do you hate? You hate me? Some people just knew it for the voodoo. Like I remember when kids saw Indiana Jones, and then they had that voodoo scene, the hum and they take the doll and they rip your heart out of you. They thought that that's what Haiti was.
Stereotypes.
I think when people in America first figured out what Haiti was after the earthquake, when every celebrity got on TV to become a John Lennon for a day. None of the money actually went to Haiti. I think they raised like $9 billion from all that. Less than 1% actually went to Haiti. I think like 10% went to the government, but you know what happens there. Haiti's been getting screwed over for hundreds and hundreds of years. It was the first slave nation to become independent, and they fought for their independence.
Yep. First, they were the first ones. So if you don't know your history, that's a history lesson right there. They were the first ones, and yeah, they won, but America, I think it was the US that forced them to pay France back. So they won their freedom, and then the US stepped in and was like, nah, you can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that. And so they forced them to pay France back a whole bunch of money that they only recently finished paying off. I think they finished paying it off, but I think it was like very recently. And so for 200 years they've been paying France back for winning their freedom. Does that make any sense? Come on.
Which is so badass that slaves came up and revolted. They revolted and they became an independent nation. So I have to remind myself that that's where my family came from. And it's a weird dichotomy because like my family in Haiti is rich by their standards. If you have any sort of money, if you're middle class in America and you have that type of money in Haiti, you're balling. You could have nice cars, you could have guards at your house, you could have security. Like if you have any type of money, you need to have security. You need to have a gate, guys with shotguns walking around. Bonjour, you know. If you have money in Haiti,
that's why any Jamaican who's come to the US, whenever they talk about going back to Jamaica and buying land, they're looking to buy a house in like a gated community or somewhere like they want to make sure they're safe because they know in Jamaica there's a lot of violence, especially there's just a lot of violence, a lot of bad stuff going on right now. And people will dead track you down and watch you and see what you're doing, see how much you have, and they'll dead shoot you and take your shit. Depending on the person you run into, you never know. There's a lot of people who are wild down there. You feel me? Just like there's people up here who are wild, but like yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be extra careful. And that's just from what I heard. It's not from experience or nothing. So you can always correct me. But yeah, that's what I heard.
You get to have housemaids, and so they walk around with outfits and they serve you food and stuff like that, and it's hard to not think of that as slaves.
Yeah, they have that in Jamaica too. I remember when I used to go to Jamaica to see my my brother. Um, yeah, we used to see that a lot actually. Let me fix this a little bit because it's a little too big. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of messed up a little bit. Just a little bit smaller. Yeah, I shouldn't have been doing this during the actual video, but I had to fix that real quick. Um, but yeah, in Jamaica they have that too. I remember in Jamaica when I was younger, over my bro's house. Um, yeah, they had a lady. She used to do everything, set the table, like do laundry, all of that. She'll come there in the day, leave at night. Um, and yeah, they would pay her, and she did like all the chores and stuff. And it is kind of like slavery, but that's their job, and that's what they do, and that's their skill, I guess. That's what they know how to do, so they do it. And it probably wouldn't be around if not for slavery. So it's an interesting. You feel me?
It's tough. I gotta be honest. Ever since I was a kid, like when you start watching like Django and those movies, and you see the same outfits on these people, they get paid pretty well, and I always tip them. But still, like that, this wouldn't have existed without slavery. And it had me thinking because I wanted to bring, I was thinking about bringing my girl Lily to Haiti with me. And she's dark. She's darker than the maids, and I was wondering how they would have reacted. So it's stuff like that that you have to think of.
See, you probably shouldn't care, but like he said, he's wondering how they would have reacted. So they probably would have been shocked to see him with his girlfriend, considering how dark she is and how light skinned he is. But he's thinking about the colorism. You feel me? He's thinking about it too heavy, too deeply. And yeah, man, it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
About when you go to Haiti, because when I go, I'm blanc. Like they will, if I walk around in the streets alone, I'm blanc.
It's like if I went to Jamaica with a white girl who's like hella light, hella white. I'd probably get some interesting looks from a lot of people. So, um, overall, people in Jamaica probably wouldn't care, but there's certain people that would give you like a look and like double take or something like that.
Which means I'm white. Anybody who doesn't look dark and anybody who doesn't speak Creole is blanc. And right now, the kidnapping is getting really bad, where anybody, like even normal Haitians, could get kidnapped at any point and brought to this little city called Village de Dieu, which means City of God. I don't know if you've ever seen that Brazilian movie, but it's literally Village de Dieu. They go there and they hold them ransom, and they start off with crazy amounts of numbers, like $3 million, or else we're not going to release your son. Every month I've been typing this long name. I don't know if I want to tell you the whole thing, but he's got the most Haitian fucking name of all time. I knew that I had a Haitian Patreon subscriber. And then you came up to me in the airport, you're like, do you know that long name that you always have to type in? That's me. So we met on the plane. We've messaged before, but we met.
That's a cool thing about being a YouTuber. You can just meet fans anywhere. So
in the airport, and now we're in Haiti. That's where all
Capital
quick lesson.
Steez.
So you say,
I think Capital Steez rapped to that beat, or like was it Joey Badass? It was someone, I'm not sure. I'll probably check the description, but that's a fire song.
CC, we already know what that means. What's the other one? The pig.
Saloperie.
Saloperie. And when would you say that?
When someone does something that you don't like.
Like what? Like someone cuts you off in
Yeah,
traffic.
like he cuts you off.
Hey, saloperie.
Saloperie.
In Haiti, nobody's wearing a mask. You could see at the market, anywhere, parties, like there's nobody wearing a mask. You wear it in the airport so that it looks good for the tourists and for TSA, I guess, but the police aren't wearing it, the government officials, like nobody's wearing a mask. And nobody's dying. You would know. In Haiti, if people were dying in mass amounts, if we had huge amounts of bodies, they would be just laying in the streets. There'd be nowhere to go. The health system, the hospitals in Haiti are a joke.
Corona, ici, c'est mal ou
C'est pas mal.
pourquoi il n'y a pas un problème?
Et les Haïtiens sont vraiment résistants. Pendant le temps qu'on a nous-mêmes ici,
We're very resistant. The melatonin in our skin acts as a defense mechanism to fight off coronavirus. People with dark skin, you feel me? Yeah, you already know.
et puis des pays qui des mal, et nous continuons à régler toute activité. Nous, même gens ça dans grand pays, nous-mêmes différents pour nous ici.
C'est soleil là, nous gagnons, qui empêche mes problèmes, nous ne pouvons pas dire ça, mais nous dire que c'est le travail bon Dieu qui fait que.
The work of God.
Pas tellement de monde en Haïti qui fait corona.
At the same time, like, it makes you think, it's one of the poorest countries in the world. It doesn't get any aid. It's very clear that people don't care about it. The most famous politicians can screw over that country year after year and just milk it for all the money it has. I think you need winners and losers for that system to work, because money now is
Yeah, that's literally capitalism, my boy. What do you think capitalism is? Come on now. You need to have winners. You gotta have someone lose. Yeah, no, capitalist society. Look at the stock market. You look at the stock market, when someone is winning, more than likely someone else is losing. So if someone just made $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, someone probably just lost that same amount. So yeah, it's capitalism. One person wins, someone is suffering. Someone, even if it's not directly correlated, indirectly someone is probably suffering. So
it's all kind of made up. There's not a lot of physical money. It's just these imaginary numbers. I think that you need a country like Haiti, or else you won't appreciate what you have in the United States. You need to be able to look at that as a comparison.
yeah, I mean, I think he says that a lot, like you need this to realize how good you have it, but I don't think that's necessarily true. You don't need to see suffering to realize that you have it good. That's not You might see suffering, and then it might let you realize how much better you have it, but you don't need it. Like you don't need to see something to recognize that something else is better, like that you have it better. That's something that you could just inherently know. Like if you were born into a rich family, you could just inherently know that you have a better life than the average person, just because you can see what you have. You don't even have to experience or meet someone who's suffering to know. But that's just his thoughts, his idea. In terms of me going to Jamaica, does make me appreciate what I have over here. It really does, because you just see it's not the same at all. So but yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Say if the UK had bigger cars and bigger trucks than us, there's no way we would let that stand. The reason a country like Haiti can exist, because we have enough money to fix it. The resources are there. They just choose not to. And that's because you need them as an example to say, oh, at least we're not that.
The resources are there, but they're not going to use it to help them. Why would they? Why would another country that's draining their resources use that resource to help them? No, that wouldn't make sense. So they're gonna keep draining them until the end of time. They don't care about them. They're just gonna keep seeing how much loans they can give them, how much money they can suck from them until they disappear. Because, I mean, most of the population is black and dark skinned people, so they don't care about them. Feel me? So it is what it is. It sucks though.
That poor. I've been really aware of the colorism issue.
I know that song, by the way. Shout out to my Haitian people. I've heard it multiple times. I don't gotta tell y'all where, but
And the reason a country like Haiti can exist, because we have enough money to fix it. The resources are there. They just choose not to. And that's because you need them as an example to show, oh, at least we're not that poor. I've been really aware of the colorism issue too because my family's light skinned. They all look like Blake Griffin and Steph Curry, and all of them, every single one of my family. So here, let me clue you into the discussion here. And I don't want to talk too much about my family because you don't want to reveal too. But this is something interesting that happened. We're at the table and we're talking about the Kardashians because my aunt likes them. She watches the show and everything, and she's talking about how they all date black guys. Like, why do they all have kids? They all get married to black guys. I'm like, yeah, that's so weird, right?
They get married to black guys. Why do they do that? Come on now. It's just pretty obvious. They're hella white. And so one reason is because they want mixed children. That's like a fetish now or something. They want mixed children. They want like that light skin or caramelish color baby. And they know if they're with a white person, they're just gonna get a white baby with straight hair. Like, they want the kinky hair, the kinda straight, kinda curly, the mix between the two, plus the caramel skin, the mix between the dark skin and the white skin. And yeah, and they just fetishize or somewhat fetishize the black community, and they use it to make money. You feel me? So it's all a scheme to make them more money in the end. That's what I think it really is.
That's fucked up. Like, what do they do? That's so fucked up. It took me a while, a couple days.
It's fucked up, but what if all of the Kardashians were with a white person? Then you wouldn't say anything, and you say, oh, that's right. Is that right? No, it's not. Like, if we're supposed to be progressive, they're basically, but that's basically saying white people are supposed to be with white people and black people are supposed to be with black people. That's literally going back in time. Like, what are you doing? That's racist ideologies. You feel me? Date whoever you want to date. You want to be with you're white, you want to be with a black person. You're black, you want to be with a white person. Who cares, son? Who cares?
Days I thought about it. Every single person in my family has married somebody lighter. Everyone on my Haitian, everyone on my Haitian side of the family.
Internalized hate for your own people. That's what that is. That's what that sounds like. I don't know if that's what that is, but that's what that sounds like. So they're running away from the darkness because if you're lighter toned, you have it easier. You have it easier in Haiti, and you have it easier in America too if you're lighter toned. For one, like I said in a past video, CJ Whoopty, who created that song, Whoopty, Bitch on My Side is a movie. I'm stuck to money like blue cheese, but I need my chicken in 2-piece, blah, blah, blah. Bro, if he was dark skinned, that video would have half the views that it has right now. And then Sneako too, like, yo, if Sneako was dark skinned, like black, if Sneako was not light skinned, he would probably have, if not 3/4 of the subscribers he has now, he would probably have half of the subscribers that he has now, just by being dark skinned. Like, and this video might not even do good because he's talking about Haiti specifically. But other than that, yeah, no, colorism is real. Like, people really do hate dark skin. And even there's a Vince Staples songs where he says, the more dark, the more alone and hopeless. And yo, it's facts. Like, no matter what room you're in, there's a possibility that someone's gonna look down on you just because of your darker skin tone. And it doesn't matter if you're in an all white room and you're the only black person there. Someone might look down on you just because of the fact that you have darker skin. And so if you're really dark skinned and you're in a room full of white people, they're probably gonna look down upon you or look at you like you're aggressive or something. And if you're in a room full of black people, the darker, like the lighter you are, I've realized that people are more comfortable talking to someone of the lighter shade, and that's even amongst some black people, they're more comfortable talking to someone who is of a lighter shade, and they're less likely to talk to the person of like who's black, like dark skin. And it's colorism, internalized hatred. Um, some people don't realize it, but I don't know. We just hate our own people. We hate the dark skin. Black is not beautiful, and it's looked down upon and looked at as aggressive or like something, and for whatever reason, we're left out. So it is what it is.
Family has married, has had children with somebody that's lighter than them. And it's funny that we had this discussion about the Kardashians, like, oh, they only like what? They only like black guys. That's so fucking weird. And then our family does the exact same thing on the reverse. A lot of that's internalized because
Internalized hatred. Yeah, they want the lighter skin tone. They're moving away from they're moving as far away from their connection to Haiti as possible, so that they're more favored within society.
the funny part is that they didn't even realize that.
Jamaican people do this too, by the way. Even though there's a lot of Jamaican people who love dark skin, love the melanin, like it's praised. Like there's a song called "Black is Beautiful" by Chronix. Like dark skin is praised, and there's a trend of people who like support dark skin and all that, but like it still is looked down upon. Like there's still a lot of internalized hatred and colorism that goes on in society. So
That when we were having this conversation, it never occurred that that was the same for our family because of how internalized this problem is. People in Haiti don't think that they can have opportunities. They just don't think so. And in Haiti, if you're lighter, it's easier to get out. That's just how it is. It's like how straight dudes would be like, I don't mind if I have a gay.
Jamaican people literally bleach their skin to be lighter. Vibes Cartel, the artist, if you don't know who that is, one of the biggest artists in Jamaica, bleached his skin. He was darker than me, and he bleached his skin. He's brown, like light, super light brown.
Gay son, but I'd prefer if his life was easy. It's like, okay, you want a normal son, right? Like you say you don't want a gay kid because he's gonna have harder time in the world, but maybe it's because it's internalized. You want a normal, you know what I mean? Does that in Haiti they want lighter kids because their life is gonna be easier. But how much of that is just European beauty standards? How much of that
All of it
is internalized hate?
All
I was
of
talking
it.
to one member of my family, and they were like, oh yeah, back when I was a kid, I dated a Haitian girl, and she was really black, but she was beautiful. And it's like, why did you have to use the word but?
Because black is not beautiful in his eyes. That's basically what he's saying.
Like, why but?
Internalized hatred.
Can't she just be beautiful? And that does exist in America, but you have to see countries like that to really grasp how it's probably never really gonna go away.
La mentalité?
Ouais, mentalité nou sal. Haïti lèm zo mentalité nou sal la, yo ban nou san bata suppose konnen, et yo fè nou kompren san bata suppose kompren. Et yo fè nou ignorer tout san da suppose kompren. Ça fait mentalité nou sal. Mais journellement nou komanse kompren baye sa ou, nan pou kompren baye nou ka fè, nan pou kompren baye.
Facts.
Xavier said that this is the Haitian pose right here.
It's recording? Alright. Yeah, boy!
I had this dilemma, like, one, am I even Haitian enough to feel obliged to give money to Haiti? Because, you know, I'm like, by blood, I'm like 1/4 Haitian. But I feel this connection to this country. Even though I don't belong. It's not safe for me to walk on the streets. I'm blanc. My car's about to die, and I want to eat the sandwich because it's mad cold. Good luck in 2021. More videos coming. Yeah, that's it.
So I fuck with the video, and yeah, no, Haiti's been through a lot, bro. Haiti has been through a lot, and so has all of the islands, to be honest with you. Caribbean islands, West Indian islands, they've been through a lot, and they're still struggling, and they're trying to make it, and the people there are still struggling, but they try. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I appreciated this video and this view into his country. I just wanted to speak a little bit, or give a few insights, and also speak on my country, Jamaica. You feel me? But like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think. I really do appreciate it if you watch this all the way to the end. I know this is a super long video, but yeah, that's it.